Hey there, good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Connie. I'm Connie Foote with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership. So, good morning and welcome on this Friday morning. I know it's early. Usually I'm on Tuesday and Thursday mornings between 7 and 9. Yesterday I was not able to be on because I actually attended a awards and recognition breakfast recognizing those that are involved in the domestic violence area. And I have a particularly really good friend who had a very tragic experience that spoke about it and was recognized yesterday, and I didn't want to miss that. And it was several hours, and I didn't want to come on later in the day and confuse our situation. So instead I offered to you that I would be on this morning so we could catch up. So first of all, let me say welcome to all of you guys. Yep, it's Red Friday. I'm wearing my red and my flag. For me, Red Friday is Remember Everyone Deployed. So no matter what side of the aisle you're on in any of these controversies that we have going on in our great country, just remember that there are people out there that aren't home with their loved ones that are taking care of things, so that you have the right to have those different opinions. So today's Red Friday, and that's why I always wear red on Fridays. So you guys don't usually get to see me on Fridays, so I thought I'd point that out so you can understand why I look all patriotic. So I hope you guys are having a great start to your day. I know it's a little bit early, but I wanted to get on early and get you some good information. That's what I'm all about. I love to provide you information and help answer questions, education. The real estate process is one of the most expensive things you will do in your life, and it is one of the most confusing things that you will do, particularly with spending the amount of money that you have to spend. So what I like to do is try to come on and talk to you a couple of times a week about things that I hear questions about. I've been doing title for 30 plus years, and we get all kinds of questions. And then there's a lot of things that we don't get questions about that people don't know that they should ask. So that's why I like to talk about stuff that comes up to me, and that also maybe things that I've seen through the process in all the years that we've been doing this. So please, with that in mind, if you have questions or you have thoughts, or maybe somebody you know has a question, message me. It doesn't have to be publicly. You can do it individually if that's not a comfortable spot for you. You can certainly message me individually. You can email me, reach out in any way that you can, and it can even be through someone else if you'd prefer. I won't put your information, your personal information on our broadcast, but I do like to share the questions that people have, because it helps. If you have that question, more than likely someone else does as well. So that's why I like to share, and I love to help you guys with information. So today I want to talk for a second about, I always say protecting home ownership, and I want to talk for a second about the title company and the protection that the right title company gives you. You know, a lot of people don't even understand what the purpose of a title company is, and that's okay. It's really my goal and my mission to change that, because it's a very valuable piece of that real estate process. You know, a lot of people think that buying your home, the company that does the closing, the title company, is all about making sure your closing is smooth and simple, and that everything is pulled together properly, and there aren't any concerns or errors, and that everything is all clear. And that's a very big part of what we do. But the other part that's even more important is this protecting your home ownership. So when you buy a house, you will go to closing somewhere because the lender's going to require it, because the lender requires that they get protection on the ownership of the property. Before you go to closing, they want to make sure that that's all clear and taken care of, because they are not going to loan you a large amount of money as you would need to purchase that property without making sure that all of the pieces are in the right place. And that's why they ask for so many things from you before closing. That's why there's so many certifications required. And that is why they want a title company to do the closing and ensure that interest, because they want to make sure that nothing can happen to the property that the loan's secured against. Now, with that said, you're putting some money down buying that house, and it may be a small amount, it may be a significant amount, but not only do you have equity by what money you put into that property, but also as your home increases in value and you pay down your mortgage, you're increasing your equity. Therein, you are creating an asset for yourself, and you need to make sure that asset is protected, because it's the most valuable thing that you will probably ever own in your life. Maybe once, maybe twice, you may buy another home that's more valuable, but the real estate that you own is obviously not in question that that is the most valuable thing that you will ever purchase in your life. So you want to make sure that no one can ever come back and say, hey, I own that property, or hey, I own a piece of that property, or hey, there was a mortgage against that property that wasn't properly taken care of. Hey, a previous owner had some type of a loan, a lien with IRS, a judgment because they had been in a car accident or some type of disagreement. There was a financial responsibility that wasn't properly taken care of. And you would assume, and you should be able to assume, but it's not true, that the company that has done the previous closing made sure that all this was taken care of, or that the company that's doing the closing now is made sure that there isn't any outstanding issues that could affect your home ownership. But do you have a guarantee that makes sure that that is the case? And a lot of title companies issue insurance that protects you, but do they go all of the steps to make sure that that insurance that, you know, is a comfort policy is not hopefully something that you will ever have to use? Title insurance is just like health insurance, homeowners insurance, car insurance. It's one of those things that we know we have to protect us, to make sure that nothing happens to our ownership, our health, or our vehicle, our home doesn't, you know, have a loss by damage or some kind of natural cause or something happening. But you also want to make sure that it's just as important to make sure that that ownership is protected, because just as easily as it is for your house to have a fire and you need protection, or there to be a storm that affects that structure, it's just as equally as important to make sure that no one can come back and take away that ownership, because that is taking away your equity, as would be if the house burned down. What happens? You now don't have the value that you had in that home. So you would never go without having homeowners insurance to make sure that your home is secure. You need to make sure that your home ownership is secure as well. Title insurance is an insurance that protects you for as long as you own the property, and you only pay for it one time. You pay for it when you originally purchased the property. At the closing table, you pay and purchase your owner's insurance. There's no deductible on it, and there's no attorney's fees. The title insurance company actually defends your interest to protect that home ownership if anybody makes a claim. Now, it may sound like that is, oh gosh, you know, what's the chances of that happening? And let me tell you, because of the sophistication of the people out there trying to steal our stuff, and you would all understand that because of the credit hacking that's happened over and over and over and over again, the same kind of things are happening with real estate because it's a huge asset, and people realize there are ways that they can create false documents and transfer an ownership or place a mortgage on your property without you even knowing about it. And you want to make sure that the company that's doing that closing and protecting your ownership is a company that has a good reputation, and make sure that they don't have claims on their policies, because those are the people that are going to protect your ownership going forward, whether you own your home for a week, a month, 5 years, 10 years, for the rest of your life. It protects you for as long as you own that property. But not all title companies are created equal, and not all go the extra mile to make sure that you won't have problems. You don't want to have to use that insurance. You want to make sure that you know it's there in case you need to. It's just like car insurance. You don't want to ever have a car accident, because you never want to have to use that insurance because of all the other things that could go along with it. But you need to make sure that you have it to make sure that your ownership in that vehicle is protected. And the same is true with your insurance policy for your home. You want to make sure that your ownership is protected through a company that is reputable and does a good job of making sure that things are clear. So hopefully you never have to use that insurance. And it's very, very important to pick that title company yourself to make sure that you're protected. So you have the legal right to choose who does your closing, and I really recommend that you get some referrals, not just one, maybe a couple. It's not necessarily just about how the closing goes, but it's also about what happens after the closing when everybody else has gone their separate way and you might need some protection. So hopefully I helped you understand the backside of that a little bit, and I'd love to talk to you more if you have questions. We've been talking about it through all of our posts and our broadcasts for the last couple of weeks. But if you want more information, there's plenty of information about title insurance and protecting that ownership on our website, www.footetitlegroup.com. Our feature article this month is actually about President Lincoln and how he lost his home 2 times because of issues that should have been protected by title insurance, but he didn't have that. So that'll give you a little bit of insight. You can go right to our website and download that easily. And of course, you can always message me and ask me any questions that you might have. I love talking to you guys, and I really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to talking to you again real soon. Thank you for tuning in to Coffee with Connie. I'm Connie Foote with Foote Title Group, where we protect your home ownership. Make it a fantastic Friday, people.